Okay, this is our PE-100, our smallest benchtop model. John is going to bring us through the various steps to set up.
First thing in the morning, you turn it on. Press the power on button, which powers up all the internal organisms here. If we want to program something other than what's in the machine already, we go into the configuration maintenance screen. We enter the password, which is 48 on this one, and we enter. Go to the configuration screen. This shows us the stabilization, gas stabilization timers. Well, I touched something. Let me get back to where I was. Gas stabilization timer, atmospheric vent timer for bringing the chamber from vacuum to atmospheric. Then we have a purge timer, which is to purge any noxious gases out prior to venting the chamber. Shutdown timer, which is non-essential on this particular machine. Vacuum alarm, so if it does not reach a vacuum within this period of time, it alarms. Next screen. Next screen shows we have a purge is enabled. We can also disable that if we are not using noxious gases. We have a vacuum set point, which if I wish to change that, right now it's set at 300 millitorr. I'm going to change that to 200 millitorr. First I have to clear the screen, then I enter the 200. Enter. And I've now changed it so that it has to reach 200 millitorr instead of 300 millitorr before it starts. Also has two gas valves. The system we have right here is only set up with one gas channel, so we have one gas channel turned off, the other one on. And this is telling us that we have a RF generator capable of 300 watts for the software. Next screen. This is the one that the operator might want to change on a regular basis if they have something different to put in. This is where we can change the time. I'm going to change the time. First we clear the screen, and I'm going to put in 600 seconds. You'll notice it's intense, so it takes an extra 0. We enter there. And I'm deciding instead of 75 watts, I want to run this morning 100 watts. So again, I clear the screen, enter 1. Oops, excuse me, clear. 1, 0, 0, enter. I have now set up my parameters for 600 seconds, RF 100. I go to the next screen.
Can we go back to that 600, make it 60 because of the length of the video?
Yeah.
Try to keep that reasonable.
Of course, now I've lost all of my settings, but
it's good to.
Okay, let's go back in here and we'll set time to what?
60.
60 seconds. Okay, got it clear. 6, 0, 0. Enter. Again, we have 100 RF. We go to the next screen and I save it. You always have to save it. Then we go to the operation. We can go to monitor, which is my favorite screen to look at because this is a graphical interface. Shows you what the valves are doing, what the whole system is doing. So now we can put something in the machine. I have already preset the gas flow, but we can change that in a moment. I'm going to put my sample in here, my composite sample. Close the door, hold it shut, push cycle start. Mr. Wookie back there starts making his noise. And you can see, if you notice there's a vestigial flow here, this is actually because the line between the solenoid and the vacuum chamber is being purged, and we're seeing flow through the mass flow meter. That should drop to 0. And this vacuum, you'll see up here on the screen, the vacuum is showing a 1. This has a 0 to 1 torr vacuum gauge on it, so it has to reach 1 torr before it starts reading below that. Shaking. There we go. Now you can see that the vacuum is starting to drop from the 1 torr level. As soon as it hits 200 millitorr, the gas valve will open. You'll start seeing some gas flow, and then shortly after that, the 5 seconds of the gas stabilization timer will time out, and the RF generator will enable, and we will have 100 watts. You'll see one right here where it says RF forward. we'll have 100 watts showing or close to it on this screen, and that's the actual forward power into the chamber.
The set point was again at what for the vacuum?
The vacuum was 200 millitorr.
Okay, so that's coming up.
There we go. You just heard it click, and that was the gas valve opening. You can see we have gas flow on the mass flow meter, and we now have RF. So, and the timer is starting to count up. And as soon as it hits the 60 seconds, then we'll purge the chamber for the 1.5 seconds. And you can see in the hole there that we actually do have a plasma going on inside. Now you'll want to notice that the vacuum level on these things are directly related to the amount of gas we put in. So if we want to reach a certain operating pressure, then we have to adjust the gas flow to compensate to change the pressure. And as you can see, as I change the gas flow, the pressure in the system is dropping. Now the best time to do this is probably after, if you're doing a longer cycle, probably about a minute into it. But on these very short ones, you probably want to set it, you know, early in the cycle. Because what will happen is your product will outgas as you're going along, and as the product stops outgassing, the pressure in the chamber will drop substantially. Okay, we have hit the end of our 60 seconds. We had our 1.5 second purge. Now it has to pull back down to its 200 millitorr set point. As soon as it hits its 200 millitorr set point, it will stop, and it will wait for me to push the cycle stop so that it will vent the chamber at that point.
As far as maintenance goes on the system,
maintenance on this system typically for the operator would be daily looking to check the oil level in the machine, to take and wipe down the O-ring and the mating flange with some IPA and a clean wipe. Once a week, perhaps clean the chamber out with some IPA or a vacuum cleaner, but it's very simple maintenance, very easy to do. Main thing is just to make sure that there's oil in the pump and that the seals are clean. Now we see that the machine has just stopped. It's pulled down to its 200 millitorr, and it's waiting for me to push cycle stop, at which point we push that and you can hear the valve open, so you can see it graphically on the screen. That's the vent valve that shows it being open, and we're going to equalize the pressure inside the chamber so we can open the door and retrieve our sample.
all right, excellent.
And there's the door.
It's the cleanest
Cleanest badge holder you'll see yet.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can we remove the side panel just to show some of the internals of the system?
The best side is
also, maybe while you're doing that, I'm going to show the electrode assembly. We have a 3-tier electrode assembly. RF coming in on one side and ground on the other. Chambers grounded. The bottom and top shelves are RF powered, and the center is at ground. And the entire assembly is bolted, or is welded onto the base plate of the system.
You might want to mention that those are electrodes we can reconfigure.
Yeah,
so
we
if
can
somebody wants to
certainly.
do a boat, quartz boat with trays. We can take out the center tray here so that you can get a quartz boat in there.
Right, if you need more space.
We also have the RIE electrode.
Right, we do have an RIE version which we offer. 6-inch square water-cooled electrode. That this actually we can fit this entire assembly on top of as a convertible system, so you can go back and forth between the RIE and the standard mode of plasma cleaning. All right, getting a side view.
I'm going to put this back into plasma so that it'll hold the door shut. This particular model has a scroll pump that is inside of the cabinet. Normally this is supplied with a Bomblin charged oil-filled pump. But as you can see, this one has the exhaust that comes out through the back. It has a muffler on it. If you look up top here, this is our pressure, vacuum pressure gauge.